Welcome to a video all about dropshipping while using Printify in 2026. Currently, I use Printify to drive all my sales through my Etsy account by creating images and then getting them printed onto a whole bunch of different products. If you've been interested in dropshipping, then this video is definitely for you. Printify is a website pretty much to just link a bunch of providers all across the country with consumers like you and I. It's really a great way to save money up front because Printify holds all the stock for you. So there's no putting money out right away to get stock that may just sit there. Everything is made to order unless you order in bulk. But really, the best part of this is that Printify has created a seamless process to connect all your sales to your shop. Starting with Printify's dashboard, you can see here there is a couple best-selling embroidery picks that Printify suggests. These are products that seem to either be bestsellers, they are new, or even some early access views. Up front, they tell you the price, if you had Printify Premium, how much of a price difference that would be. And it also includes all of the sizes, colors, and all the different providers. More of this information can be viewed within the catalog of Printify. Beyond your dashboard, you have a couple more options here on the left-hand side. You have the catalog, which we'll get into. You have your products, so everything that you've created will be listed here. You can view all your orders that have come through your shop or Printify itself, and you can see the status of everything, who purchased, price, and all that. Settings if you'd like to make some things a little bit more specific. You can also see your insights that have currently been created for all your products being sold. They have branding that you could create. They have a sellers club. You can view your notifications as well as your wallet. So you'll see what you've purchased, what you've made. Everything will be listed money-wise right here in your wallet. By going to the catalog, all of their current items can be viewed here. The amount of products seem to literally be never ending. They have t-shirts to mugs to hats to shower curtains, from jewelry to scarves, and literally so much more. Through here, though, you can also view where the products are coming from, and of course, the prices like we just went over. It's always good too to see where the products will be shipping from, so you can always go through each provider listed and, either choose the one that's best for you or Printify will suggest one for you. For the sake of this video, we are going to go into bestsellers, and we are just going to choose one of the first t-shirts that are available. And just, another quick overview, kind of what we just highlighted. You can see here what type of product it is, what is the brand of the product, your pricing, and then of course, what sizes are available, how many colors are available, and then how many print providers are available. Once you are in the product that you select, there is just some more information about the product itself. So you could see here, there's a couple things listed about this t-shirt specifically. For example, this one has 2 available decoration methods. So you have DTG, and then you also have embroidery. For some information about the types of decoration methods, you could see here that the DTG is a direct-to-garment way of printing. So, you pick whatever one's easier for you. It may be DTG or DTF, and then there's also embroidery. For this one, we are just going to go with a DTG. Furthermore, beside your pricing here, you can see all of your fulfillment options kind of right before you even start designing. You could see shipment, you could see the lowest price possible for you to pay. There'll be a little overview of what type of quality this is. So if it's a top rated bestseller, new, and so on. Currently, you could see all the colors that are available. Just this quick overview of all the sizes, the print areas that you're able to do. And then, of course, the production, which is very important when you're selling to consumers alike. Just a quick overview about the t-shirt, kind of considerable with this information, but just goes into a little bit more depth. Goes through the key features of the product, care instructions, as well as the size guide. This is also important. I tried to add this into my sales just so the consumer knows exactly what they're buying. Kind of just gives a little bit more information so they can buy the correct size. Once you have your product chosen, again, we're just going to go through this one for the video purpose. You could then start designing. And this is the best part because this is where your creativity will shine. There are pretty much two ways that you can get your product printed onto this t-shirt. You can do it either by uploading an image that you have already created, or you can create an image through Printify's editing. This is something you can kind of do at any point of your creation process, but if you go to select variants, you can then see your colors that are available. I'm just going to click the first couple here so we can just kind of see how it all goes down. And then I'm going to upload an image that I have already created. So you can see here, my image has been pasted into the box. There is an outline where is the biggest that you can print onto. I'm just going to make it as big as possible for right now. You could see here that my image is gray on a black shirt. If I were to go to the gray shirts, maybe it's not as clear. The good thing about this is you are able to make different designs per colors. For example, if I went to the gray and say I wanted to make this a black print, I can go to this button here, make a specific design for gray. I can select that, and then I can delete that one. And then I can upload a black version to make it just a little bit more clearer. Same thing, you're going to want to set it to size. There, much more clear. So that's a great way if you have, maybe a bunch of options of colors that you would like to sell or buy. And it's an easy way to kind of just have everything viewed in a great way. And you don't have to just only post one color at a time. While your image is in place, as you're going along, or even before you start to save it, you can always view a preview of the product. And it will show you kind of in mock-up versions of the text on the shirt you choose. So, maybe if this was too large for you, you can make it smaller, or if you started out small, you can make it bigger. So this is a good way just to see how your product is being placed. So besides uploading your pre-made image, another way that you are able to create a design is through Printify's editing. So for example, I'm going to go ahead and delete this. You're able to add text, so you can choose pre-made text that are already there. You can also then choose a font. I'll just select this one and I'll start typing. Clearly you cannot see that since it's in black, so I will go up here and let's just choose some yellow so we can see. Going to slide it to the yellow. I think that's good for right now. We now have our text in here. Again, you can edit it by making different sizes. A great way also is this will tell you the center of the product itself. So I'm just going to put this up here. And you can also add some graphics. So again, they have some pre-made layouts that you are able to choose from. They also have some shapes, and here's some more pre-made sayings. Of course, you can always edit the saying itself, some text elements, and these are more for when you are sending the product. You're able to get a little kind of card in there that will be put into your box when sent. It goes into all these different categories that you can choose from. I'm going to select this one for the sake of this video. See here, I can just add this into the middle, and if this was the image we wanted, there we go. You're able to also, kind of change the design itself. You can flip it, you can crop the image. Same going with the text. You can always change the font again, change the color. You can curve it, you could duplicate it, you can center. A bunch of options that the Printify editing tool allows you to do. With this one, we will just preview it before we save it just to see how it looks. So I'll view a mock-up. There you go. Looking good to me. So from here, once I have everything in place, I'm usually, you can change your color and the information is here. I'm going to keep it at the RGB option. And I'm going to go ahead and save the product. Once the product is saved, it then takes you to the mockup library. These are the photos that will showcase your product. For example, it always kind of clicks all of the different colors with the designs. So I usually will keep all of them in there because I want my consumers to see all of the options. If you have anything on the back, you can choose back. If you wanted to show it as a folded option, you could do that as well. I like to always add a person in there, so I will maybe just click one design, the other design, and then here's a different version of a mock-up with this fella standing. So I will do the same thing. One design, another design. You're able to select up to 20 mock-ups, so it's a great way to really show the product that you are trying to sell. Once your mock-ups are selected, you can then save selection. Once saved, you're going to see your overview of your product. And again, this has not been published yet, so it's not visible to any consumer if you are sending this to your shop. I can see here that my mockups are listed. If I wanted to change maybe this to be my primary photo, I can select the star, and then this will be the basic photo that will be seen to the consumers first. And then they can click through to see the others. One thing that's awesome about this, if you're not too well with words, the AI version in Printify pretty much just creates a nice little saying about the product yourself, and it'll take information from the graphic as well. Sometimes I'll change this to edit it a little bit more realistic to the product, but it's a great way also to just kind of have a base of a saying on how to promote this product to your consumers. We'll start with the title here. You can add however you'd like. Usually what I'll do is just kind of put a basic information about the title. But any way to capture your audience is great. So you can add adjectives, more words, more sayings that you'd like for a consumer to see this and select it because maybe the title's interesting. Once the product is selected, the description will then show. You could see here, there's just kind of an overview of the product itself, a little saying about the image. It includes the features of the product. So for example, our t-shirt is 100% ring spun US cotton, and it goes into all the different factors that create this product itself. I love also that it includes care instructions for most of the products. Again, if you are linking this to a shop, it's great for the consumer to see exactly the best way to wash a product with whether it's embroidery, DTG, or DTF. Some of them are a little bit more of a structured way to care. So this is a great way to include care instructions up front. So you're not really getting any contacts. If someone irons right above the product with the image on it on high heat, that can cause damage to the product. So it's all listed here for your consumer to know exactly what to do. If you are selling outside of the US, these are all the information that needs to be listed. And it gives it all for you already. So you don't need to kind of research and make up anything. This is exactly what, for example, EU and Northern Ireland would need for selling this product. These are tags that you can add to your product to maybe get it a little bit more seen. You're able to delete, add, they already give you 13 different tags that kind of seem most relevant to the image and design. You can add whatever you'd like. So let's just say I just wanted to add t-shirt, enter. We now have a t-shirt tag. You can delete all 13 and add your own. You could have 2 tags if you like. Of course, more the better that your product will be found. There's an option to put some attributes in here. So if you wanted to promote the color, the style, there's holidays, there's graphics, there's occasions. So, we see a lot of bachelor, bachelorette matching shirts. So if that's what you are creating and selling, these are great ways to just put it into a category where your consumers can find these products. And it goes also into sustainability. So if you have a product that includes any of these, it's great to add them in there. Something that's awesome about Printify as well is that you can now add personalization to your image. So to do so, you can enable it, and then your buyer will be able to input what they would like written in the text. So if it's a happy birthday shirt, you can add happy birthday name, and then the buyer will then enter the name that they would like. Here is your shipping options. They now have an economy shipping, but their standard one is the most used. You could see here with the economy, it's a little bit more cheaper, but if you look at the delivery, it's a little bit longer. I currently stick to the standard just because the turnaround seems to be best with that. It also ships worldwide if you choose to do so. With the shipping profiles, if you're not sure, you can also automatically get it assigned if you'd like, or you can have it specific to the actual production company that will be producing this image, and it'll be specific to them. The next, I would say, most important part is your pricing. So this will go over your retail price of the product, your profit, the margin of the profit, the production cost to you for Printify to create this product. And since I am linked to my Etsy account, you can then see the Etsy fee for selling all of these products. For the shipping costs, we kind of saw it above there, but these will be pretty much the standard shipping across these products. And as I already mentioned, I like to keep with the standard. If you'd like to change the prices of your products, you can do so by just selecting per size, per color, or you could do a bulk pricing. If I select that, and let's just say I want to put it to $32, you can make it more or less than the set profit. I can click apply, and now it will change all the prices to 32 at once. You can then see your profit here. If I wanted to change just one product, I can go to the product I'd like to change, select the retail price, and edit it right within there, and it will automatically change everything to your margin, profit. Production will stay the same because that is the set price to get this produced. You can see the Etsy fees just a little bit more because it is based off of percentage. And then you can also see the inventory. So maybe there is a color out of stock for one of your sizes. If that's the case, it will say out of stock. In this scenario, everything's in stock. So there's really not much to worry about. Everything that Printify produces has a specific SKU number. So these are very important, pretty much for the consumer to buy the correct product. These SKUs will automatically transfer to your Etsy account, and that is the kind of communication between the two. If by chance you change this SKU number for whatever reason in your Etsy account, it will not link to this. So you just want to make sure if you're editing things in Etsy that everything remains very close and, correct to what Printify is offering you. There's just a quick little overview about pricing. If you're not sure, everything is in the US dollar. It's all converted just based off of your currency set. So some things you might want to see if it's in the US and your currency is not in US dollars. You'll want to see what the conversion of that is. More just suggestions of how many variants you should have. And then, of course, there is a great helpful guide with pretty much just how to price and the best ways to price. With your shop, if there is anything maybe that you don't want to sell just yet, you can always hide it and make it visible later on. If anything's out of stock, you can have it show that you maybe have it, but it's out of stock, or you can choose to just have it hidden. I tend to always just use this so it kind of just is off my shop until the products are added back in. And then these are going to be your sync details that will go from Printify to whatever your chosen shop is on the platform. I like to keep everything selected between the mockups and tags because that is specific to what I'm trying to sell. So if you did it here, there's no reason to have to do it again once you publish it and, add some more in your shop. Printify allows you to have that option. So it's great that you can just select it and then sync it over. Once you're done, you can then select the Publish tab. This will then publish it right to your shop. The great thing about that is once it's published, it's in your shop, and basically Printify does all the legwork for you. You selected what you needed to select, and they basically just take care of the rest, which makes this process so simple. Especially if you're new to dropshipping, this is the best website to use to create and promote the images that you've spent time on and getting them onto products that you're able to now sell. If you've been thinking about this and you really want your creative skills to be seen, this is the best thing. You can start making money pretty much once your products are posted on your shop, and you're able just to view it from a side and let the shop do its job, and it's backed up by a great company via Printify. Printify also has a great customer service. So if you have any questions or concerns, they are very quick with responding with the answer. I've had to reach out a few times, and within an hour or so during the week, I've gotten a response and able to clear exactly what my questions were, to fix whatever my questions were. They are very attentive to their consumers. So having a great customer service to me is really key, because that is the best way to get answers. Sometimes, I can't figure it out on my own. So knowing that there is a great backed customer service line that Printify offers, that is just huge. If you have any further questions and, maybe don't want to reach out to Printify, you could definitely leave your question in the comments and I will try my best to respond. Or even if it's a question about my process, I cannot suggest it enough that Printify will be your best friend when you are trying to dropship. especially because there are so many products to choose from, so many options, and it really just will answer all your questions of, hey, I want to show the world what I've created, but I don't really want to buy the product up front. Your answer is right here. This is your sign. Use Printify to dropship in 2026. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, stay wavy.